Good afternoon. I'm Larry Kamer, and this is my YouTube channel, the Fly Tying Philosopher. While here, I tie flies and I think about ideas that interest me, and I spend some time talking about those while I show the tying procedures for the flies that I'm going to be doing at this episode. Today I hope to do two short films of tying the Utah killer bug and the Idaho killer bug. They're variants of killer bugs, and well, one was used by Tristan Higbee on his channel, the Tenkara Addict. And I noticed in my fly boxes recently that I didn't have any classic looking killer bugs. I have variations in colors, but none with the classic oyster colored wool. So those are what I'm going to do today. This is May 12th, and we went fishing for the first time on May 2nd and 3rd of this month up to the Osable River here in Michigan, and stayed at Gates Lodge on the river and had a couple nice days of fishing. The water levels were not high, but cold. Not much in the way of fish activity. Really the only person that caught fairly nice fish was my wife. She caught I think it looks like about a 9-inch. My hand span is 9 inches, and that's about as big as the fish was. And that was the best one in 2 days for 3 of us fishing. We probably spent a total of 18 hours on the stream between us, and didn't have much to show for it. I had no luck whatsoever. I was throwing the flies that I had been tying in the past episodes, the 3 colors, 3 styles. Didn't have really anything that I could detect as far as a hit was concerned. My wife and her son were fishing dry droppers. She had, I think, a royal wolf on the surface and a pheasant tail nymph on the point, and that was the fly that caught the 2 trout that she had to show for the trip. I also got to test out a bunch of new equipment that I've been accumulating over the winter. I showed in one previous episode a tackle duffel bag that I got. I was hoping to fit our equipment for both of us in that bag, but it didn't work out. It comfortably takes one person's equipment, so I ordered another one for later this summer. We're going to Montana, so we're going to need something to take on the plane. I used both of my single length rods, the Dragon Tail Shadow Fire, which was very nice rod. I fished all day with it without any difficulty. One of the things that I discovered was that I had been using little hook keepers, would attach to the rod with these little O-rings, and I've had those break in the past. I knocked one off this time and went floating down the river. So I've been kind of frustrated with those. And then I looked into further ways to do this, and I found from Dragondale these line keepers that just snap onto the rod. Should be a lot more stable, and just you collapse your rod, wind the line around it, go to your next place, unwind, and so forth. And then I have storage spools. When I'm done for the day, I can put that on there. We tried fishing without nets this time. We've been kind of thinking we're not going to be keeping much in the way of fish. And we had what are called catch-em releases. They're a little tool, slide down the line, take the hook out. It didn't work real well the first time we tried it because we didn't actually know how to use it, but not only that, we've been using barbed hooks, even though I'm changing over to barbless. A lot of our flies still have barbs. So when we got home, I watched the video again to see what how to use it properly. So hopefully next trip we'll be better off. Let's see. Other equipment. Oh, I got a sling pack, an Orvis sling pack, and used that for the first time, and I was real pleased with that. It's very nice. Just unhook it, swing it around, and you have almost like a little working surface for you with your flies. Spools of tippet, lines in the bag. It holds, there's a water bottle on it and so forth. So I really liked it, and I'll be showing some pictures of that also. I think that was all to report. It was good to get out. We're hoping to go again soon. It's a trip for us to get to a blue ribbon trout stream here in Michigan, either Rifle River, the Ossago system, or the Pierre Marquette to the west of us. But it's an hour and 15 to an hour and a half drive for any of those for us. Okay, so those videos I'm going to I have started them early on this episode, so they'll be running, and I'll be trying to show pictures we took on our last trip. Several years ago, many years ago now, I decided that I would read most of the major philosophers, which I did in the course of my studies. But at the same time, I decided that I was going to read all the major world scriptures. So, of course, I started with the Bible. I ended up, over the years, reading it from cover to cover, probably 5 times, or at least 5 different versions. I read the Vulgate, which is the old Latin Catholic Bible, the St. James, of course, the NIV, so forth. I also tried to do a lot of Asian scripture, like the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, other scripts, things from Buddhism, classic Japanese samurai, Bushido works, the 5 Rings, the Art of War, Confucius. Then there were a couple things that I hadn't quite gotten to over the past few years. The Quran was one, so I read that. Then I decided to do the Book of Mormon and finish that. Along the line have been picking up bits and pieces here and there of other scriptures like the Buddhist sutras. And of course ran across here in America around the time of Joseph Smith. There was a great deal of spiritualism taking place actually all over the world. Tarot cards were invented. Writers like Helena Blavatsky and Rudolf Steiner were publishing their books on theosophy. And I hadn't read them, so even though I had done Ouspensky and others, I hadn't done Blavatsky and Steiner. So I just recently ordered those, and these are going to be my next ones: The Philosophy of Freedom by Steiner and The Key to Theosophy by Blavatsky. So just beginning on that. May have things to say in the future. I don't suppose that those issues or the subject matter of those pertain particularly to tenkara fishing. But I was reminded again on this recent trip to the stream how beautiful it is. I have some pictures. And it's always kind of a spiritual experience for me to go there. So I'll be trying to relate those ideas as we go along. I feel that I'm pretty well equipped at this point. I have tons of flies. I'm going to show a picture of just some variations that I did with starting off with just a kind of like a killer bug in a flame color, and then variations of that fly. Did 6 variations, all weighted with a bead, and some have tails and others have hackle and so forth. Those were kind of fun to do. I sat down one day and just kind of did 6 of them right off the bat. And now I'm going to be working on some killer bugs as I showed you in the film today. So that's kind of an update. First fishing expedition of the year completed. Hope to do more, and I'll do further episodes probably after each trip. A couple observations about tenkara technique. One of the things that I noticed is that the fly is in the water a lot more, for me at least, than it is with traditional Western fly fishing. Much less casting, fly in the water a lot. Even though I wasn't very successful this time. Those are kind of 2 technique things that I noticed. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you the next time.